everyone, this is Kara from the Rock Island Public Library, and today I'm going to show you how to make paper roses. We did these a few months ago at a library event in person, and obviously we can't do that now, but I still want to spread the message of these beautiful paper roses. At the library event, we actually made these paper roses using old recycled book pages. I think they offer a really pretty romantic vibe. You don't have to use book paper, you can use whatever paper you have at home. I also have these here at home, just with colored paper that I had around the house. It's pretty simple. Let's get started. To make our beautiful paper roses, we just need a few supplies that you probably have around the house. The first thing we'll need is a pair of scissors, a good pair of scissors that you like. If you're doing this with kids, definitely make sure to have kid-friendly scissors. Next, to make our petals, we will need paper. I picked this yellow paper because I love yellow roses. This is just standard colored printing paper. Next, we'll need a pipe cleaner. This will help us make a stem for our rose. If you don't have a pipe cleaner, feel free to unwrap like a paper clip or something, just a wire, something like that, which will allow you to make a stem. You will need a pen to curl our petals so that they look more rose-like. And finally, we'll need just standard Elmer's glue. All right, we're gonna get started. So the first thing we're gonna do is take our piece of paper and we're gonna fold it in half. And then using our scissors, we will cut on that line. And then we'll take this piece and fold it in half again. We'll put that aside and take our second half, fold it in half, and crease in the middle. And now using our scissors again, we will cut each folded in half, and half again. So we'll have 4/4 of our first piece of paper. Using the paper quarters that we just made, we are now going to get started on our petals. We will take 1/4 and we're going to take the bottom right corner and fold it so that it is aligned with that left hand side of the paper. So it should look like this. And we'll have a piece on the top here that we will need to use our scissors and cut off. So this is what we're looking for, a square that's folded in half diagonally. Now I want you to repeat that process with 2 more quarters of the page. Folding it from the bottom right corner, bringing it alongside to the left-hand side of your piece, and then cutting off the excess paper. Okay, so now we have 3 identical pieces of squares folded in half. Now we're going to get to the fun part, creating those really beautiful petals. We will take one of our folded in half squares and we're going to fold it in half again so that we make a triangle. Give it a good crease at the bottom, and then we will fold it in half again. Just like that. Folding it in half, folding it in half again, and with our last one. now we have our 3 smaller triangles ready to go. Our next step will be to take each of our triangles and cut them so that we make our petals. Okay, so this one I have drawn a little bit of a guide for myself on where I want to cut. So the edge piece here is our folded side, and this is the open side is the top. So definitely make sure to draw along those lines. And once you've got your guide, you will just take your scissors and cut. And so it should look just like that. And once we have it here, we're going to turn it over and cut the very smallest part off so that we can get our pipe cleaner. Super duper small, like barely noticeable is perfect. And then we will open her up and have our first petal. You see a very small hole right in the middle there. Okay, we will repeat this process 2 more times with our remaining triangles. Now that we have our beautiful cut petals, we need to cut them just a little bit more so that we can get the little lifelike spirals of a real rose. Okay, so we'll take each one, set them down here, pick up your first petal, and we're just gonna cut 1 petal out of this piece here. So you can kind of just cut along that fold all the way to the center, and then right along the other side as well. Okay, so what we have is 1 petal and 1 petal with 1 missing. Okay, so set these aside. We need to keep both pieces. And then with our second, we're gonna cut 2 petals out. So using the fold lines as a guide, we'll then cut along this fold here so that we have 2 petals. So again, set that one down. We keep this one, and we also keep the 2 petals. This one's fun. Looks like a heart. And for our final one, you may have guessed it, we're gonna cut 3 out. Okay, again, we keep both pieces here. So all the pieces we cut, we definitely need. Now we are at the point where we need to get our friend glue. So we'll open her up, make sure she's all clear. And I'm gonna have you grab the piece with only 1 petal cut out. And what we're gonna need to do is apply glue to the edge petal here. Depending on the type of glue you're using, you might need a lot, you might need a little. I'm just gonna cover this petal here so it looks like this. And then I will take the other edge petal and place it directly on top of the glue petal. And using my finger, just sealing it. So it should look just like this. Okay, we're gonna grab our next one and follow that same process here. Gluing the whole petal. Applying the other edge to the glue petal, pressing it firm with our finger. If it's not perfect, don't worry about it. Real roses aren't perfect either. Okay. So this one has 4. So now they get a little more tricky with our smaller pieces. We're not trying to glue petal on petal like we've done. We're gonna make them just a little bit smaller. So using our 3 petal piece, I'm gonna show you how to do that. where basically I take my fingernail and I kind of run it along one of the edges here just to give it a little bit of an indent here. Something that's gonna make my job a little bit easier. And then I'm gonna take my glue and I'm gonna put it on the outside edge of that dent. And then I will use, it's kind of tricky, so, and then I will just fold it over like that. Again, this isn't gonna be perfect, but don't worry about it. It'll look perfect when you're done. I have found that tacky glue definitely works the best for this, but I don't have it at home. I just have Elmer's glue, and it'll work. I actually made that yellow one over here with Elmer's glue, and I think it looks pretty good. Okay, so this one looks pretty good. We will set that one down. And now we'll do our 2. They get a little more tricky the smaller they get. Fold it over. I'm kind of just manipulating it with my fingers however I can, you know, just gotta make it work. The thing I'm seeing here is that I've definitely got a centerpiece of a flower and I can see through the bottom. So we're gonna put our wire or our pipe cleaner. All right, now let's do the 1 petal. This one is always fun. I actually, when I do these, I try to roll them. Sorry, traffic on my street. I kind of pre-roll it because we want this one to be pretty teeny here because it's the center of our flower. And then I'll put the glue so that the paper has some memory. Okay, and I'm just kind of spreading that glue with my finger here. The smallest one is always the trickiest. Okay, there we go. We are gonna let all of these dry a little bit so that they aren't coming apart when we assemble our flower. In the meantime, we can prep our pipe cleaner. So just taking our pipe cleaner, we will take the very top edge and we want to fold maybe 3 centimeters down over itself. So we have a little nub at the end and then fold it down the same amount again. So it should look kind of like this. It's basically going to give each of the petals we made something to hold on to at the end of the flower so it doesn't just slip off the top. Once you've let each of your petal pieces dry for a while, we can start to manipulate them just a little bit to make them look more natural. I will bring this up to the screen to show you, a real flower has curved, soft petals, and we want to mimic that on our paper rose. So let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to use a pen for this. This is just a pen I had around the house. And I'm going to take my largest piece and I'm basically just going to take a petal and roll it around that round part of the pen here so that it gets just a little delicate fold here. I'm going to repeat that process for each of the petals here. If you want a more dramatic fold here, you can use a smaller object like a chopstick or something that you have around the house, maybe a small reusable straw, that would work well. Anything, you're the artist, this is your creation, it's definitely up to you. So just a little fold on all of those pieces here. And you'll repeat the process of that for all of the petal parts. We have made it to the most fun part of this whole craft, flower assembly. So we are going to take the pipe cleaner that we made, the bulb at the top, and we're going to take each of these pieces and slide it on. starting with the smallest piece. We will take our pipe cleaner, put it through that petal, put it through the pipe cleaner and the petal, and drag it all the way up to the top. So it's kind of ending right here. And then we'll take our next largest petal and repeat the process. So because we use pipe cleaner, it's gonna stay. If you're finding it's loose or anything, you can always just use a little bit more glue at the bottom to hold it in place. We'll use our next one. So you can see our flowers kind of coming together here. Ooh, looking so fancy, so pretty. All right, our last one. Slide it gently up. You've got your very own paper rose. Thanks for joining me today to make these really beautiful paper roses. I hope you had fun. If you have any questions, definitely leave us a comment, let us know. I will say I think these as a bouquet would make a beautiful Mother's Day gift if you are looking to make one yourself at home. The one thing is, they don't smell as nice as real roses, but they do look pretty good. Thanks so much.